Welcome to Dextor Plays Sunless Sea by Failbetter Games. Welcome to a new playthrough as Dextor Plays Sunless Sea. I also have the Submariner DLC in this. I have played maybe, a couple hours worth of this, just get kind of a feel for it. I'm going to start up a new game. This is a game that's kind of got some Lovecraft elements to it, which I've always enjoyed Lovecraft stories. If you haven't read any of Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, go read them. Assuming that you're okay with some horror stories. His horror stories are not like the typical hack and slash things. They're the great unknown, and it has to do with lots of insanity and stuff. So, yeah, they're usually pretty good, especially if you've got a decent imagination. They're really hard, if not practically impossible, to convert into movies. But I'm really interested to see how they've done that mix with this game. In addition to that, this particular thing, we're going to be in a little bit of a Gothic style, which is something I will also enjoy and haven't been doing much of. The gameplay might run a little slow at times, and so I will attempt to do acceleration when I'm just cruising across the ocean, which they call the underzee. And I'm going to do a lot of reading. This is something I think that when you normally play this, you're not going to read through everything, but I'm going to read through a lot of it, I think. We'll see. Give me comments below if you don't want me to read, just want me to play, or if you're actually enjoying the reading. I'm going to do a new game. Yeah, let's start a whole brand new game. The Z-Bat is able to detect underwater settlements nearby. Be sure to dive below and look for them. So one of the things in this game is when you get near the end, I think, or somewhere, you're able to convert your ship into a submarine, which will allow you to submerge. Up until that point, you're just strictly a steamboat on the surface. One of the abilities you'll have here is a Z-Bat, which is kind of like a recon drone. You send out the Z-Bat and it'll look around nearby you to see if there's something like an island or an undersea something. And if you see it, you can actually mark it on your map. This is the initial interface. I'm in dock at Fallen, London. And we're going to go ahead and do some reading some stuff here. You get to choose a path. Captain's making. 3 decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Now it lies a mile below the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the underzee. The underzee. So here I can go to choose a path, so it'll give me some stuff, or my path is Wreath and Shadows, which is quick, but we're going to take a look at the choose a path version. You decide who you are and what you want to be. You now have a lodge and a room above the blind helmsman. Who were you? Now you're a captain. Now you belong to the underzee. But who were you before? I could be a street urchin, a poet, a veteran of the campaign of '68, an ordained priest, or a natural philosopher. Now of these, all of these will give you some things. You can see down here, for example, if I take street urchin, your street urchin gang cast you out when you grew too tall. You took to the sea rather than graduate to larger crimes. That last big score was enough to buy a ship. This will give you a bonus to veils and the skill of subtlety and evasion. So that's up here. You can see across up there, I see 5 skills. The first one here is iron. The iron skill on all these go from, I think, 0 to 100. Gives you a bonus to your damage that you do with your weapons. That's just straightforward hack and slash type stuff. Mirrors, detection and perception. The higher your mirrors, the quicker you can find a firing solution in combat. So one of the things that you'll have when you're in combat is a timer that ticks up to when you can fire. And if you fire too soon, then you only have a chance to hit. When you get to the top, with the timer go all the way around, you get 100%. Veils, the speed, stealth, deception, decreases the attack or the range at which enemies will spot you. So when you're out in the sea and you want to try to sneak up on somebody, your veils will help with that. Pages, esoteric and occasionally practical knowledge, increases the speed at which you convert fragments to secrets. Down here at the very bottom, there's a bar. This is my fragments for my page score. I have 288 fragments currently. When I go all the way to the top, I pick up a secret and it goes over again. You can kind of think of secrets as levels. And then hearts. Inspire, heal, defend. Sometimes it helps with tests around the terror. This actually doesn't help you heal. It is strictly used for tests when you're out on the sea or in port. All of these could be used for checks. So you can kind of think of these as stats, but they don't quite give you the bonuses like normal stats do. Over here, I get the number of crew on my ship. I can get 8 out of 10. I can get all the way to 10 to 10, but you got to feed everybody who's on board. If you get below half, it's just this thing here, if you get below 50% of your people, your speed gets reduced by 1, and it affects your performance. So you kind of want to stay above 0.5%, but below max, so you're not using a lot of food. We've got some stats over here: fuel, supplies, and terror. The fuel is used when you go around with your ship. So when you're moving, the fuel will go down. You have a light on your ship. If you turn the light on, it'll consume fuel also. So you kind of have to balance whether or not you want to use your lights or not. If you have your lights on, you're easier to spot as well. Your supplies will just keep ticking down. If you're not at your supplies, and people starve to death, and it's bad news. Don't do that. Last is terror. Terror you'll pick up as you're just doing stuff out in the sea. If you turn off your light, you'll grab the terror. Anytime you're out from dock, you'll end up getting some terror, and you'll see that by the number of dots that are around here. They might be green, they might be orange, they might be red, and you'll see them tick up, and whenever they go around, you click up a unit of terror. You can get all the way up to 100. This on the outside is how much my hull is. I got 75 of 75, and you got a little green there. This is my cargo space in the middle. I got 15 pieces of cargo. That's 5 supplies, 10 fuel, and here's my speed rating. So let's take a look around and see what we got for the story. Of these, I like either veils or iron, and street urchin's going to give me veils, so I'm going to go for that. Let's see. Low conning on the high seas. Your friend, another Longshanks, knows a little of gunnery. Only a little, but she can help. Ooh, sweet, I got a gunnery officer. So these slots give you officers as surgeon, gunner, cook, chief engineer, and first officer. And all of them will give you some bonuses. So if you look at the Longshanks gunner, Longshanks is a recent graduate from the street urchin gang. But where did she learn to fire a cannon? So +1 on my iron. So you see that iron has gone to 26. So down here, you were street urchin. You see you have a stranger quality is gone. You gain 10 echo, which is cash. And there's my echoes right there. I have 60. You now have 1 Longshanks gunner. You've gained 25 veils for a total of 50. And someone is looking for passage. Alrighty. So we will click continue, and here's your ambitions. You're choosing how you want to end the game. In this case, I got the Father of Bones, Immortality, Fulfillment, Wealth, or the Private Kingdom, which is locked at the moment. I can't pick that one. So I could go on a search. I could try to find, what is this? Unlocked undersea. You have one. You could go try to find the thing of eternal life, fulfillment, or wealth. With the street urchin, I think I'm going wealth. You know how it is to be poor. Now you want a mansion, servants, fine clothes, and a family, perhaps. So, beyond the dreams, the underzee is full of riches, death and darkness too, but it's worth the gamble. To win, gather a substantial retirement fund, upgrade your lodgings to a mansion, and retire. An occurrence. So, all of these things, this is one of the mechanics, is you pick up all these little markers, basically. It's kind of like... have you achieved this thing, true, false? And they use all that for your progress. Last scrap of paperwork. Captain, an irregularity with the Harbor Master's office. They wish to know what term to address you by on shore. This will determine what people call you. You call your captain, but your captain's gender is up to you. So I could be madam, sir, citizen, my lord, my lady, captain. Well, being how I'm going to be going for all this, it's going to be my lord. Perhaps you really need to come from a noble. Yeah, no, I might not, but I'm going to come. I'm buying it. It's going to be mine. A pleasure to welcome you on board, my lord. A piece of last advice. Explore, take chances. This captain will probably die. The Z is hungry, but each captain passes his lessons on to the next. So that's what is that? A legacy mechanic. So when you die, you have the option to take some stuff with you, so you, to give to the next captain. You can take some cash or some item or something like that. So we will take a look at that. So let's continue. Now I get to pick my character. Look, how about this one here? Dextor. Accept. So now we're in Fallen London. I don't even know if we're going to get out of... Well, we'll get out of port. I'm pretty sure of that. So here are all the things. You can see that on the side I have a bunch of cards, which are also the same thing as I have in here. I have a number of tabs. We're going to come back to this stuff real quick, but let's just do a flip around. In some ports, you'll have availability of a shipyard, and in the shipyard, you'll see you have different kinds of ships, including this one right here, which is mine. As you can see, they're the same. If I open this thing up, boom, Come on. It'll give me the details of what it has. Hull, cargo capacity of 40, weight, quarters, and how many slots it has. We probably are going to be shooting for either a merchant class cruiser eventually, or like a dreadnought, which is down here. One of these big dreadnoughts. Just to give you an idea what the end game dreadnought looks like. 600 hull, 100 capacity on hull, so cargo. So you can see the cargo really doesn't get, I mean, even the merchant's 140. So this isn't like, I'm going to go to 40 to 3,000. It doesn't go up that way. Weight, which impacts both your movement because of your engines, and I think your stopping speed. I think that's used for how the ship will perform. How many crew you can have, if there's a bonus to your iron, so that would go from 26 to 51. Mirror's bonus avails debuff because it's just so damn big it's easy to spot. And then ship slots, you get to use put stuff in. As you can see, I have no forward, I have no aft on this one. But I have all the others. So, forward and aft are used for weapons and things. If we go into the shop, we can buy stuff here. I'm not going to go through all of that. Here are my officers. I can actually talk to my officer if I want to. It'll give me some options here. All right, Captain. What do you want me to shoot at now? The Longshanks Gunner is not the most distinguished of officers, but she'll do until you find someone better. So I can increase my iron if I take some secrets. And here's those blocks you saw before. Unlock with iron, not more than 49. So I can't increase this until if she goes above 49 or if my iron's above 49. And then I have to unlock it with a secret. I don't have a secret, therefore it's locked. I can ask her what she wants from life, and when we talk to her, she says, Khan's shadow. It's like the flit at sea, right? No one tell her what to say or do. No one to kick her downstairs just 'cause you got a little bit tall. I'll be a faithful officer, but put me ashore at the shadow and I won't forget you. So Khan's shadow is east of the Khanate proper in the east central underzee. So if I get there, I'll lose the officer. Basically, I don't lose her. I have to actually select it and let her go. And then I could proposition her, for like love interest if I want to. I can't do that right now. I need iron of 71 or better. Don't have that. All right, so back out of that. Thank you. So that's officers. Here's the journal, keeping track of all of my stuff. And here's my collection of objects. Here's my hold, which is showing what kind of cargo I have, what kind of curiosities I've picked up. Sometimes the curiosities will take space, but what am I here? Nope, these curiosities do not. Here's my deck gun. I'm going to do 8 points of damage when I shoot something, and this is my battery for my engines. And one of the things in this game is bigger engines take more fuel. Fuel costs money. Money's hard to come by. So you really don't even want to upgrade your engines until you're like, I got a good cash flow. Let's get into the story, shall we? All right. First of all, there's the Submariner tutorial. This is the how to use your submarine. I don't have that. Acquire a submarine. Unlock with a submarine secret no more than 0. So if I click on this, it'll give me my book. I think travel to the southern coast. Follow it east to find your Port Carnelian, where you can learn how to convert your ship into a submarine. Be sure you're prepared for this journey. Well, I am not, so we're not going to be doing that. Here's the advice for the captains. This is a journal for how to do things. There's going to be a lot of reading, as I mentioned, but this is going to get a little bit crazy, so I'm not going to do that. Just the much lamented M. Demo found a watery grave long ago. Probably your end will be no better, but if you read this book of invaluable advice, your chances will improve. So, in the beginnings talks about the fact that you will have a legacy. You want to explore. You can get fuel and echoes by doing that. Mercy. This is the game currently has 2 ways to do your saves. Actually, if we look in the hold, I got this Invictus token, which basically means I can't do a manual save. It'll save in port, and after that, that's it. If I try to manually save, then I'm effectively in a position where I'm going to try to save scum. If I die, it deletes my save and gives me that legacy thing. So it's a little roguelike in that effect, and I kind of think I like that. Machines. So this is all talking about the ship and the different places. We'll talk about that. Finding places to explore. We'll do that. I'll show you a bit about fighting and on the stories. Terror, as it goes up, you'll end up with like some tests to see if you're going to go, lose somebody or something's going to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and sell this book. It's worth 50 echo to me. Woohoo! All right, I got Lodgings, a passenger going into London. a passenger here. Let's do that one. Someone in the docks wants aboard the ship. Greet and carry the august travel writer to Gator's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for your transport. All right. The august traveler shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Thank you. It's Gator's Morn I'm bound for first, he says. I'll hear ya. He hurries over to your stoker, who is carrying his steamer trunk up the gangplank. No need to trouble yourselves. Give it to here. Remember, my lord, Gator's Morn, I'll pay you 150 echo when we arrive. So now I got a guy on board. Great. So now I got London and Lodgings. Let's take a look at London. Here's the different things that I can do in London. One of the things we'll be doing is looking at these, if I go to the Admiralty's office, and the Admiralty office is giving me some things. Ask if there's anything in particular they need. I'm going to say, well, if there's so much discretion, this port, speak to our agent there in return. We'll see what your reward is. So if I go to retrieve strategic from Gator's Morn. So when I get to Gator's Morn, I can go talk to somebody in the Corsair Forest and get some strategic information to bring it back. Let's see, can I speak to the Admiralty? Well, you've proven yourself, so I don't have enough stuff to really go there, so we'll leave. And let's come down here. All those are locked. Hire on more crew. It's a modest challenge. You can see I have hearts, 77%. I get more crew. I don't need more crew. Here's one. Offer passage to a Tomb Colonist. An immigrant will pay to be taken north to Venderblight. It's oddly difficult to die and fall in London, but when a Londoner is too tatty and wretched to live, they wrap themselves in bandages and take ship for the Tomb Colonies. Your crew carts this one aboard in padded coffins. They'll sleep there until the journey is done. So I got a Tomb Colonist and I need to go to Venderblight. And what else do I have? Nope. Perhaps not. So I'm all done there. Let's take a look at my lodgings. I can read the morning paper, the Unexpurgated Gazette, the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine, the Spiteful Trumpeter News. If I read this, the Khanate is threatening war. They always are. London's colonies on the Carnelian coast want independence. They always do. The underzee, the paper's report, has undergone another alteration. Not yet, it hasn't. You'd know. Ooh, a promotional coupon from Miss Penty's Provisioners for a half cask of salt herring. You could use that. So I get a point of supply, and I also get this thing called Recent News, which I can rebate when I go into a dock somewhere. But the rest of it's done. So we're done here. We're done in the city. There's nothing left for us to do. We've done all these. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we got fuel and food. We're going to be going to a place, and I happen to know, so we'll take a look at the shops here. I can go here and I can sell stuff, but look at the rates. I buy for 10, sell for 2. I have been keeping track from my previous playthrough, or not playthrough, my previous hour or so, where things are bought from sold, because I was thinking maybe this is like Elite, where you're really doing a lot of trader runs, and that's not the case. In this case, for example, if I go over here to Wolfstack Exchange, there's a lot of things I could sell if I had them. But if I buy these mushroom wine casks, which I will, I'll buy whatever I can afford. I can buy it at 21, but I'm going to sell it at 23. So I'm going to make 2 off of each of these. And I've just picked up like 5. So that means I'm going to make 10. That's enough for me to buy like 1 piece of fuel. I mean, it's not enough. So trading so far in this game doesn't seem to be the place to make cash. I am going to want to buy something here soon. There'll be a deck gun here that can upgrade. So instead of doing 8 points, I can do 12. But at the moment, I think I'm all done. So now we're on the map. Let's take a look at the map. There it is. There's the map. Here's Fallen London. We're going to go ahead and hit E to get out of here. And you can see I've got my flashlight on the front. I'm going to turn that light off at the moment. And then we'll watch as we come out of port. That little terror counter thing is going to start clicking up. And I'm going as fast as I possibly can at the moment. I am screaming fast. Woo! We'll have to see if I get dinged for this music. Actually, you know what? Options. Cancel. Audio settings. I'm going to have to turn off the music just because I don't want to get dinged. Continue. There we go. I don't know if I will or not. I did throw a tweet up to the place. Oh, here we go. Hunter's Keep. So if I turn on my light, I can see a little bit better. I'm looking for that. See that circle up there? That's what I'm looking for. And if I throw Z out, ow, I did some damage to my ship. I throw Z, the bat goes out, comes back around, and it reports down here at the bottom of the logbook, as you can see. It's saying there's no islands in range of the Z-bat. There's the low Barnett. So did I get that one? Do Hunter's Keep, low Barnett. Yep, I got fragments. So now I got distant bells. So what this means is that this says something way to import, and it unlocks a couple of additional things when I get into the court or the port here. You know something here? Walk in the gardens. So if I can do this stuff, we'll take a look at it. Spy, straightforward challenge. I'm going to present myself at the house. Hello. A maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlor where 3 young women wait. A visitor, the youngest cries, the youngest chuckles, the eldest sighs. Do excuse the indecorum, she says. Visitors are rare, and you are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe, and the cheerful one is Lucy. You are in good time for lunch. Will you join us? So now I've become acquainted with the Sisters of Hunter's Keep, and a false star flares in the cavern roof directly above you. So in the underzee, we are somewhere like a massive cave. Or at least that's the way it comes across at the moment, is that we're in this massive cave, and we're just, it's like, what is it, Thousand Leagues, not a Thousand Leagues Under Sea, Journey to Center of the Earth. So now that I've done that, a bump in the dark rock swath and mist, like our 100 other undersea islands, but here's a grand house, window aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight, raked gravel paths. You stand on the dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. So that's the description for Hunter's Keep. And here are my options. I can have lunch with the sisters. Now, this is not like some things where you just start at the bottom, just go through everything. This thing here, this something awaits you in port, can only be used once or twice. And so, watch this. I'll go talk to Cynthia. Bing. Cynthia grasps your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue. Her hair is wild and tangled. Bats might nest in it. It seems to you that you are sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to a story of murder, an axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop? Asks Cynthia. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll have the maid wrap something up for you. You can't be hungry. You're not safe to be hungry. Or it's not safe to be hungry. So now I've got this wary terror. If we look up here in my terror shit, I've got one piece of terror. So I have a tale of terror. And that's all for now, which means that light's gone. Whenever you see that's all for now, then you no longer have other options available that require that something awaits you in port. So I picked up a point of supply from her. Thank you very much. I've become acquainted with this sister. I've lost all my hunger, so all the hunger that was up here is gone because I got fed. My iron remains unchanged, and so that's actually interesting. Typically, this is not said in a meeting, so that means that I can get some iron from her. I just didn't do it this time. So if I go back in and click Hunter's Keep again, you can see they're not receiving visitors now. The ladies aren't there. But if I have news, I can go and talk to her again. So, for example, see, unlock something awaits you. Nothing awaits you at this time, so I can't do that. If I've acquainted with the sisters, and I have a news, and you can see you have one, so I can go here and talk to her. Even when the sisters aren't feeling sociable, they can be tempted out of their lair by the smell of new stories. Knock and wait. You ask the sulphur-eyed maid to carry a few hints of your news to the sisters. Oddly enough, she comes back with a message that the headaches are cured, and you're invited to lunch. What do you know? So now I can go back to lunch with one of these girls again. We're going to go back into Cynthia one more time. And I get the same sort of things. That's all for now, supplies. But notice here, I got a point of iron. So I don't know if that's every 2 times you talk to her or something, but I noticed that the last time I was here, so I wanted to do that. Reconnoiter the island. Plunging cliffs, soft green lawns, a well tucked away in the fold of the ground. Anything else? The ships rarely come here. Nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the isle, the house and the sisters. But the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing has changed at least. And now I have a port report for Hunter's Keep. I'm all done here. So one of the things you can always do is just kind of click on shops to see if there's anything here. There isn't. So now I'm ready to take off again. And let's take a look. All right, we're going to go ahead out here. Going to go a little bit lower, longer. Now, if I come around here with this light, sometimes, I'll see stuff. I'll detect the new areas like Low Barnett. What is this? Dust echoes. Even a sepia tint in the air. These are the waters around the Tomb Colonies. Ah, excellent. I want to find the tombs. So if I go here, I can scroll in and out. I can grab it and click it around. You see, it's saying there's 2 ports. So Low Barnett says it's a port, but Low Barnett is actually undersea, so I can't get to it. Let's throw this thing out. Am I going to find anything? Yes! I found a Vendorblight. So if I click on it and then look at the map, it says, hey, look, the bat found it up there. Now I found Vendorblight. And Horseman's Stag. So every time you click some of this, you can see that my score is going up. It's pretty close. I need another 38 points to get my secret. Ding. And look, something awaits you in port. If you stay out long enough, that'll always happen. You want to have this before you go into a port. Otherwise, you won't have the full scope of things to pick when you go in there. So now that we come into port, you can see I'm at 8. I started with 7? 6? But I picked up supplies because I went to the island. And my fuel went down from 10 to 8. Trouble with Tomb Colonists. You brought the decaying immigrant north. Now what? Help out an immigrant. Your Tomb Colonist passenger yanks off her bandages. She looked remarkably healthy for a Tomb Colonist. I'm not as dead as I look, she confesses. And I won't get ashore without your help. Yes, the constables are looking for me back home. Is that a problem? So I can do this. This is unlocked because I was a street urchin. Make no promises. Keep your nose clean. You'll drop her off the dock as you promised. Not that it's her problem. Well, you know what? I'm going to help out an immigrant. You slip your furtive passengers past the skin check post. Oh my God! You slip your passenger past the skin check post, and the confirmation of consolation. Thanks, Captain. She remarks casually. Let me teach you a couple of tricks, just in case you do this again. And here's a little hush money. So you brought a criminal to Vendorblight and assisted her. I got some veils. Oh, nice. I picked up 1 point in veils. Excellent. That's actually pretty good. I haven't picked one of those up yet. Got 200 echo. Woo! Nice cash. I got 1 menaces of suspicion. So when I have suspicion, I might get searched more often. And I've got the Tomb Colonist off, so I have no more Tomb Colonist. So now I can do the tutorial, or I can look at the Vendorblight thing. Assist a specialized collector. This is when the submarine... if I unlock this, I need a submarine. So, lock. Let's read this. On deck, you can hear the sounds that 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. It's something like the world's most restless concert audience, or the world's most plague-ridden cathedral. We have these options down here. Explore Vendorblight. Here, they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to make mistakes, or to be mistaken for sculptures until they laugh or cough. 1 building in 3 seems abandoned. Unlock when something awaits, which I've got here. Something awaits. So, and what is this? Unlock? Nope. So that's my special up there. Then I have visit the curator and gather gossip. So let's talk to this thing here. Explore Vendorblight. Picnic. Creepers climb the shattered pyramid. An owl blinks from an idol's mouth. In the undergrowth, a cave lizard munches decoratively on a white cricket. This place seems peaceful. Rest a while. Unlock with 1 supply, so I can spend a supply, or I can search warily. The neath is rarely gentle. Treat this place as enemy territory. So I have a 30% chance, so it's going to be red, but it tells me what my chances are. 1 in 30. I don't know what the risk is to do this. I think I might not do that. I'm going to go ahead and do the picnic. So I lost a supply. I've lost 2 terror. That's all for now. Which means my light's gone out. Let's go back in. Talk to the curator. Listen to a whispered request. Neath Bow. So this is going to be a submarine quest. I'm not going to take it right now. Grand Sanatorium. Oh, Silkskin. You don't want to know. The chuckling becomes a cough. We don't die here below. Not unless we go to Z. So we need something else somewhere to end. Oh, ain't that nice? And cryptic. Okay, so we come out of the gloom. What else do we have here? Gather gossip. Along the coast of the underzee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who live London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. All done there. Now I got a shop to go to. I've got some wine to sell. You can see this is 23. So I sell it all. I'm at 320 echoes. And these are the places I go. I go to the Arcade of Sights, if I Hollow Temple, which will buy news, like recent news and visions of the Service, Monstrous Almanac, memories of distant place. Or I could drop off Tomb Colonists if I pick them up somewhere and sell them off here, if you will, for 15 apiece. Well, we've made it from one place to another. Let's take a look at the map. That's what it looks like, but we want to continue to explore before we go back to London. We still have some fuel left. I want to be sure to use a bunch of my fuel, but I need to make sure I keep echoes to replenish my fuels and supplies. So we'll probably come out here on an outward arc, see what else we run into, see if we can find some more ports, and start to establish our run for generating cash. As far as the ports will generate something like 10 echo apiece, so I can fill up my hold for all of that stuff that I just bought, that cask of mushrooms, and get about 10. Or I can hit a bunch of these ports and make a bunch more. So that's really what we're going to be doing. So come back and join me on the next run. Thanks for spending time on this starting up of Sunless Sea. Hopefully, as we get into this, things will get a little bit more creepy. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching another episode of Dextor Plays. Please leave a like or subscribe, and post any tips or tricks down below.